Welcome to King Says So, a channel that advocates for one Africa, one land, one Africa, one language, one Africa, one currency, one Africa, one army. I wish to witness Africans all around the world united as one in our lifetime. Enjoy.
So I said, well, I said this day is the day. I can't say, sorry, I'm no longer there. I had to come and say what I think needed to be said. But I said, well, to be me, I'm blessed. I've got brothers, I've got sisters, I've got daughters, I've got everything. I told one of my daughters to speak on my behalf. Say what I thought I wanted to say today. Then at the end, I will just say a few words, which I think are necessary for the country to go well. Just small. And then I said, well, there are people who always say there is question and answer. Why? When they're ready, they say, no, they're very fond of asking questions. And I'm very fond of answering questions, fortunately. But for today, I will only take between 3 and 5 questions, if they are serious. If they are not serious questions, sorry. I will say sorry. You'll be very happy. And then I will also tell a little story about me since I left government. Some of the things that only me know. And then talk about why I'm going to answer a few questions. From January to the date I will bring your hands, I will answer all your questions. And therefore don't say he's not wanting to talk, no. He is going to talk about elections. Are we right? So I will then hand over to my daughter here to say the few words that I wanted to say, and then just make my throat rest, because I'm going to lose it lately in the few months that are coming. Thank you very much.
My fellow South African citizens and members of the local and international media, the African National Congress, the oldest liberation movement in the African continent, is globally recognized as one of the greatest liberation movements of our time. It was a mighty force that led the struggle for freedom against one of the most evil and cruel regimes, and inspired many liberation movements in the continent and beyond. This organization was established by great leaders who are regarded as forward thinkers and brave pioneers of this country. The objective was clear. It was to liberate the Black people and the Africans in particular, transform their lives, and also establish a South Africa that equally belongs to all who live in it. Black people had been turned into semi-slaves and semi-colonial subjects in the land of their forefathers by oppressors who came from faraway lands, causing severe marginalization.
Step into Wix Studio, where creative freedom meets absolute efficiency. Intelligent design scaled by default, and even advanced layouts adapt with responsive AI. In studio, immersive
it is clear that they are disappointed. They are very critical of the manner in which the ANC has been conducting itself as a political party governing their country in recent years, more especially under the current leadership. For over a century, the ANC leadership had always treated its members and supporters with utmost respect and prioritized listening to them more than listening to themselves. An open channel of communication from the ground up had always been a core practice of the organization and had helped to maintain a strong connection with the people. A healthy relationship between the leadership of the ANC and its members at all levels demonstrated the character of being an organization of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is for such reasons that many of us initially joined the ANC and believed so deeply in its mission that we were prepared to sacrifice our lives. Many indeed paid the supreme sacrifice and lost their lives in the process of fighting for our freedom. The ANC that I know always prioritized recruiting new members and continuously sought to build and maintain. The ANC I know was never focused more on expelling members a number of tasks that I saw through. In these various positions, I carried out all the tasks and instructions I was entrusted with, no matter how difficult and dangerous some of the assignments may have been. I was equally ready to die if need be. There is not a single task that I do not execute to the best of my ability. I have always put the ANC first before any other personal interest in pursuit of the greater goal of liberation. I was loyal to the organization then, and I remain a loyal servant of the organization to this day. I have served my organization under different conditions and circumstances. I joined the ANC in 1958 before it was banned in 1960, and when it was banned, I also served the organization underground. I was arrested and served 90 days detention without trial. I was on trial with other comrades for 3 months and served 10 years on Robben Island. I was exiled from my home country for 14.5 years. During all this time, I remained loyal and true to my comrades and leaders. We were truly disciplined members of the ANC, not a slogan, but in reality. During those years on Robben Island, I can proudly say that the level of obedience and discipline was at its highest. During my time on Robben Island, I held the position of leading the political committee, which was responsible for political education. After my release, within the following 1 year and 11 months, I was appointed as the underground secretary of the then Natal province and thereafter left the country to go into exile under the instruction of my organization. I later ascended to the position of commander within MK and was also elected as a leader of the ANC. Having faithfully served this organization from my youth until now, I have a concise understanding of how the organization works on its own and also with their alliance partners. I hold a very deep commitment to my organization. I have always been ready to serve the ANC at any level, and my track record reflects that. I truly believe in the mandate of the ANC, and I will continue to serve my organization. I will die a member of the ANC. Precisely because of my deep understanding and belief in the ANC, I deeply feel the pain and disappointment of witnessing this powerful organization being reduced to an organization that has introduced practices that are foreign to its character and mission. Some of the foreign behavior and displays have led to the public losing confidence in the capabilities of the organization and losing faith and respect for its leadership. Due to these unfortunate developments, many people are vocalizing their mistrust in the organization to the extent that they are threatening not to vote for the ANC in the upcoming elections. This organization was trusted by friends and foes. The people of this country looked forward to engaging and interacting with the ANC. Many looked up to the ANC as a forward-thinking organization and as the real liberator of the oppressed. As a result of this organization attracted persons of all classes, races, and ages to join in carrying out its noble mission. However, in recent years, many members and supporters of the organization have reached a point where they have publicly come forth to express their difficulty with understanding and accepting the manner in which the organization is being run by the current leadership. The organization that I have served for over 6 decades under trying conditions has changed into an organization that we no longer recognize. This organization is now being led by some leaders who are behaving in an un-ANC manner that does not reflect the true character and mission of the organization. This has led me to identify the need to rescue our organization from this un-ANC behavior. There is an overwhelming and growing number of cadres who have raised similar concerns about the current manner in which the organization is being led. Others have unsuccessfully tried to express their concerns and were robbed of opportunity to express themselves in the appropriate arena of the ANC National Conference. When I was the president of the ANC, dissenting voices were never silenced as in the present. Even the Zuma Must Fall Brigade were free to express themselves. It has become clear that this organization is no longer the organization we grew up knowing. It is for this very reason that those of us who never forsake or abandon the ANC feel it necessary that we undertake a process to rescue the ANC from the wrong hands, bring it back to the people and restore its former glory. Given the death of democratically elected structures of the ANC, the role of money is determining electoral outcomes since the CR17 scandal of blatant white monopoly capture of the organization and the suspected fraudulent manipulation of conference outcomes. I have full sympathy with those told me that they keep their membership but vote for other progressive parties. All this has resulted in the rapid decline of the ANC in successive elections. It is now widely expected that the ANC will lose national election for the first time since 1994. This follows its 46% loss of the 2021 local government elections under the present leadership, which should have served as a wake-up call. This seems like a deliberate plot to kill the ANC. I've been left with no alternative as the faithful servant of this organization that I love and believe in but to do something to correct the wrongs within the organization so that we can restore the confidence of the public in the vision of the ANC and regain their trust and support. We need to rescue the ANC and bring it back to the organization that we know, love, and trust. This requires drastic action. Before stating what that we're going to do to rescue and restore the real ANC vision, let me tabulate a few of the current pressing issues on which I base my distrust of the current ANC of Ramaphosa as a proxy of white monopoly capital, which must be distinguished from the real ANC. Firstly, the ANC kept quiet when the powers of the president were taken away in the appointment of the chair of the Commission on the so-called state capture. This symbolized an opportunistic amendment of the Constitution of South Africa. Secondly, the ANC kept quiet when it became clear that the 2017 National Conference and the position of president had been stolen or bought by forces outside the organization for an amount of 300 million rand, which the president admitted under oath, and the estimated amount of 1 billion rand or more, found by the public protector in her Bosasa report in which Ramaphosa was fingered. Thirdly, the turning point for me was a misguided statement made by the ANC president that the ANC is accused number one for corruption in South Africa. Neither the leadership of the ANC and the NEC nor the membership at the most recent national conference saw the need to challenge or change that incorrect statement. Fourthly, the ANC expelled its Secretary General using the selective application of the so-called step-aside rule, but will now allow the president, who is also facing criminal charges, to top its list for the next election. Fifthly, the ANC stood idle when 400 black people were massacred in KwaZulu-Natal following the avoidable July 2021 unrest caused by the Constitutional Court and Mr. Raymond Zondo due to my imprisonment without trial under the ANC of Ramaphosa. Sixthly, the last straw was when, due to the public protector's 31 questions in the investigation of the Phala Phala scandal, she was suspended and then impeached by the ANC, DA, and Freedom Front working together. I have now been told that the ANC of Ramaphosa has decided to vote in favor of the impeachment of Judge President Hlophe and Judge Motata. The ANC of Ramaphosa has declared war against progressive black professionals and intellectuals. Lastly, the ANC of Ramaphosa has plunged the country into darkness with load shedding, which has ruined the economy. This could have easily been avoided by keeping the best management with successfully prevented load shedding and adopting nuclear energy many years ago. Today, we are told that nuclear power has suddenly become affordable. These are just some of the key reasons for my answer to the question, what is to be done? Some ANC leaders have asked me to campaign for the ANC in the 2024 elections. For the reasons I have stated, and many others that I will share with the public in the coming months, I have decided that I cannot and will not campaign for the ANC of Ramaphosa. My conscience will not allow me to lie to the people of South Africa and to pretend that the ANC of Ramaphosa is the ANC of Luthuli, Tambo, and Mandela. It is not the ANC that I joined and went to jail for. In this regard, I fully agree with other former leaders like Comrade Thabo Mbeki and others that it would be a betrayal to campaign for the ANC of Ramaphosa. However, I also believe that it is not enough to withdraw from the ANC campaign, which will lead our people to more misery, poverty, racism, unemployment, deepening load shedding, and a government led by sellouts and apartheid collaborators. It is also our duty to guide our people in what to do in order to save our revolution from its enemies and to achieve the society envisioned by the Freedom Charter. I therefore wish to announce that in 2024, I will vote for the Umkhonto weSizwe MK party. It has already been registered with the IEC with my knowledge and blessings in response to various pleas expressed to me by some religious leaders, traditional leaders, former combatants, and other leaders in society. I call on all South Africans to join me in taking the important step and to vote for the MK party and any other progressive party which seeks total liberation and the return of our land to its rightful owners, the African people. The task ahead requires young and older leaders alike to pull in the same direction. No single organization can pull out of the present crisis. We require the same spirit of unity which saw us defeating the monster of apartheid. In the past few months, I have held several meetings with leaders of our people across the spectrum, including about 10 registered progressive political parties, with the aim of fostering a much-needed unity of the historically oppressed and dispossessed in South Africa. We are also discussing the formation of a patriotic front and a voting bloc after the people's victory in 2024 election. We are also discussing the formation of a patriotic front and a voting bloc after the people's victory in the 2024 election to pursue a minimum consensus program of no more than 10 points of agreement to get us out of the present crisis, which is in the process of being formulated. The single aim is to steer the ship of the total liberation from colonialism back on course by uniting Africans across the country, the African continent, and the African diaspora behind the battle for land, justice, and radical transformation towards economic freedom. There can never be reconciliation without socio-economic justice and equality. To explain the necessity for taking these steps, and in particular for choosing the vehicle of Umkhonto weSizwe Party in pursuing our freedom from the present capture by white monopoly capital and the enemies of our people operating among us, I can only quote the founding statement of Umkhonto weSizwe on 16 December 1961. The time comes in the life of any nation where there remain only two choices: submit or fight. The time has now come to South Africa. We shall not submit, and we have no choice but to hit back by all means without our power in defense of our future and our freedom. The statement was true on 16 December 1961 and is also true on 16 December 2023. The new People's War starts from today. The only crucial difference is that instead of the bullet, this time we will use the ballot. This was made possible by the supreme sacrifices made by many freedom fighters in the past 400 years, in the years of resistance across the length and breadth of this land, starting with the heroism of Khoisan leader David Stearman, and culminating in the democratic breakthrough of 1994. Throughout that history, our people and their leaders were prepared for any consequences in the pursuit of freedom, including death itself. At this historical juncture, there is once again no alternative but to pick up the spear of the nation, Umkhonto weSizwe, in defense of our people and in pursuit of a peaceful revolution for radical change. The status quo cannot be allowed to prevail or even get worse. Today, my mission is only to announce the way forward. The formal launch of MK Party and the announcement of its interim leadership and party list will be done in the early part of 2024. At this stage, we will also report back to the nation on any progress in the discussions around much-needed black unity and the Patriotic Front discussions. Due to the toxic atmosphere caused by our captured media, judiciary, and other arms of the state, it was necessary to conduct these discussions underground. We will soon be ready to share the details with the nation. No force can defeat a people's thirst for freedom. I thank you.
this is what I wanted to say today to the country. I've been part of the struggle for a long time. I sacrificed almost everything, ready to die. Was lucky I didn't, many of my brothers did. And I would love the colleagues and countrymen, particularly the pastors, that for us to arrive at the right point, I would request you, because we have been talking with him, that at some point next year, we should organize a national coming together of the Christians, of the South Africans, to pray for our country, to get back where it is supposed to be. As I said earlier, the traditional leaders will be put out of everything. Yes, and yet they are the owners of this country. They literally have no role in the running of this country. And yet they are called Amakosi Toda, but they don't have a say. This is their country. Yes, government must be there, but we belong to ourselves, and government is elected by us. We need to tell the government what to do. No country must be allowed to sell the companies of the country without consulting us. Some people will have to answer at some point at the right time. So I will plead with you, my pledge, to help pray for this country, so that even the elections that are coming are going to be peaceful and there's going to be a change in the country. It is in our hands. It is in our hands. It is in our hands. We have to be true to ourselves and to our people, to everybody else. Let me tell a small story. I have avoided death many times, being killed by my former comrades in many ways. I can tell a story, which I will tell. I will have enough time next year to tell the story. How many people have been sent to my house to kill me by people I know. It's not my time to say those things now, but I want to tell you, among the reasons why I've taken this decision was that I realized this is not a country I fought for. I need to see a South Africa that our ancestors envisaged, to say this country will be free. There is more poverty. There is more problems. There is more criminality. All you dare just story about how much this time things have been. There is no solution. Why are we not stopping criminality in our country? We pay tax for those who must do the job. They must do the job. But we are not as we go. You produce a check. You fulfill our rights. Thank you, guys.